the midweek preview. Sans Glenpollet again because it's Tuesday and they raced at Gosford today, but I do promise you that we'll have some of Glen's good oil up on the site tomorrow for Warwick Farm, should they go ahead, Gord.
Well, is it that inclement, is it?
Well, it's just that the weather forecast says heavy rain at midday and 3 p.m, which are obviously key.
Well, I was very surprised we got through the meeting at Warwick Farm, what is it, a couple of weeks ago?
It was 3 weeks ago.
3 weeks ago.
It was, God was out there, we were setting up Mounting Yard Mail, and it was bitter as well as very inclement.
Yeah.
So, look, at the moment Warwick Farm's relatively dry. They had 5 mils of rain overnight, and they say soft 5 at the moment, and it would be great if that was the case. It would be, if we could run the meeting right now.
I would absolutely love it.
So we'll just have to get excited and hope, because we're back on a true rail after being 5 metres out 3 weeks ago, and that will mean that you'll want to be off the fence, although perhaps not as rapidly as it was 3 weeks ago. It's funny, the true rail, when it gets wet, can be, just wait for that plane to go past, can be not as vicious as you'd imagine. But anyway, we're working sort of away from the rails, wider draws, you're better off with.
What is your guess on the track conditions, mate? Because that really doesn't matter.
It's raining, so it's just like it's just deteriorating. It's you know it's a 6 race 1 and it's off by race 3 sort of thing.
Okay.
That's the scenario according to the weather.
Well, let's find some winners early.
Right, so we kick off with a mile maiden for 3-year-olds, an interesting race. And Royal Navy from the all-conquering Snowden Yard is $3.40 in favourite. Preferito from Gay's Yard, $4.40. Fencourt, who didn't get a run, or didn't run in the race 2 weeks ago after being a late scratching, with blinkers on tomorrow, $6.50. Our Belisa is at $8, Arizona is at $8.50, and Sizzling Bullet at $9.21 San Pablo. Preferito would look to lead here again. He certainly appeared to have every chance leading a fortnight ago, but he was $12.50 up to $15.50 on that occasion. Our Belisa occupies a prominent position. Fencourt tucks in behind them from gate 1. Royal Navy, I imagine, would be next best. And Gay's other runner, San Pablo, may be the one asked to actually sit outside lead.
Well, this is the limit of my distance range, but
1600. It's 1600 for young horses. Is that better or worse?
Well, that's worse actually. But anyway, I'm reasonably keen on Royal Navy. I think the form was moderately franked out of the Cezanne race with Argentina flying along the inside to beat, was it Vega on Saturday?
No, it was an unraced horse of O'Shea's, Eusebio or something like that.
Yeah, so Royal Navy went straight past that horse, which has since won, and it comes out of that Cezanne race, and I'm saying that's the superior form race for the 3-year-olds at the moment, so I'm with Royal Navy.
That's it?
That's it.
Bet early or bet late?
I'm going to wait.
Yeah, look, it does seem a bit of a screwed down price given that it was in the best ground at Canterbury. It does, certainly the Cezanne race is a race that you should target. But I'm not as strong on Royal Navy as Gord, so one of us will be, well, who knows. Our Belisa, I thought, did a really good job. 11 up to 14 to chase down a horse that had complete control at Kembla. In a slowly run race. Now Arizona was in that race as well, and they've been marked equal, which seems very kind to Arizona and not so kind to our Belisa. Certainly Preferito is primed tomorrow and should run his best race this campaign. Whether that's good enough is another matter.
I'm going the Woogok race is just inferior to the...
Well, it is inferior, but in terms of being primed, he's at a 15.50,
yeah.
And he's third up.
Yeah.
You know, Royal Navy's had one run in town at 12.50.
Yep.
So that's what I'd suggest as far as race 1 is concerned. That's an interesting race over the mile. Then we come to a field of 6 over 1400 metres, and Dingu Mountain is currently $2.10. Beretta is at $4.80, Carluka $7, Royal Jackpot $8, Granite Belt $11, and Zadok the Priest, scratch from Gosford today, is $13. And I had Zadok the Priest in the van, although I'm not sure that he's necessarily a leader. Certainly Beretta will be hard up on the speed. Granite Belt freshened up, should be thereabouts. and Carluka and Dingu Mountain Royal Jackpot certainly appear to sit in the back half there.
I'm only interested in three horses in a 6-horse race. That's not really saying much,
That's
is it?
all right.
But Dingu Mountain, Granite Belt and Zadok the Priest. Dingu Mountain obviously could have more ability than these, but at the price, which is about even money at the moment, I think, it's not the kind of horse I want to take a short price about even in a small field, particularly if we get rain on the day, which opens up so many more variables. The two that I'm sort of half interested in because they were in the wrong part of the track last start is Granite Belt and Zadok the Priest, but I'm more interested in Zadok the Priest because I like the fact that over 1400 metres not the last up, the start before it beat Itza Shemozzle, which has since come out and won a Wednesday race. So I'm looking for its winning run to have not been completely stopped and to continue again tomorrow at $13. So that's just a bit of a throw at the stump at odds.
Fair enough. Look, I'm anticipating Dingu Mountain to be heavily laid tomorrow. He's off a break. He's off a race where he was perfectly well set up. He's got I realise that he's got 3 straight city runs this campaign with a break, and the others have got a mishmash of form, but it seems a tricky race for him. It seems a race that is not that well set up for him, and whilst I have him on top, I expect him to blow. And the other horse I'm interested in is Royal Jackpot, who's third up. He obviously needs it not to have rained by this stage. But third up, gun back on, his winning jockey, and a tongue tie on. Beretta was good the other day. Granite Belt can improve. I take what you say about Zadok the Priest, and Carluka's on a 6-day backup. Honestly, all 6 have a chance in this race. That's race 2. Then we come to a very interesting 3-year-old maiden over 1300, which has been wallified, won well and truly. And the market sees In Times of War, a debutante from the Waller Yard at $4.60. Malays, who's off a break but coming home, although the form guide says Agnes Banks, $5.50, one of James McDonald's few rides on the card. $7.50 Savan, $9.50 Earth, back from Brisbane, $11 Aquatic, $11 Revolver, $13 Hesterlin, $13 Lara Pinetta. Noise coming from everywhere. Savan would have to be in the fray, I imagine. She poked up there in an 1100 3 weeks back. She's had a trial since. Revolver has come back trialling hot and strong, certainly in fast trials, and I imagine that he gets on the speed. Aquatic shouldn't be too far away. They were the horses that I had on the speed in this race.
Do you want me to say it, or do you want to save it for your subscribers? Or
No, you go. It's all yours. This is your show. This is your chance to shine.
But when you find it as well, I've always got to say, should I say it?
Do we have to share it, do we?
Well, yeah, anyway. Nobody pays for this stuff, do they? Super keen on Savan, number 8. It's just the perfect James Cummings setup. We've seen him do it with other horses. The freshen up, the trial was awesome. The last 50 metres it was absolutely dynamic, and it comes out of another fantastic form race, which we've got a very big opinion of this Red Hearts from the Snowden stable, and also I've got a high opinion of Coco Excel. This horse split them. I think it'll be winning this race, and it's currently at odds of $7.50, which I think is absolutely fantastic.
Way to go, Bet365.
Well, we'll have to wait.
Wait to go, Bet365. Anything else interests you?
No. Question mark on 12, but
yeah. Look, yeah. It does sort of jump off the page at you. Basically, it's Warwick Farm poking up along the inside. It was Glyn on that occasion. T. Clark Jake takes over tomorrow. I'm interested in Revolver, who looks to have come back a different horse. Aquatic out of the Cezanne race, who sat deep in that race when the rails was the best place to be. Obviously Malays comes out of a good looking race back in July, won by Mediterranean, and this looks the right style of race for it, perhaps not quite the right draw. And obviously In Times of War is another interesting runner. It's a great little race. I'd also mention Lara Pinetta, who had no chance on that track at Gosford. That was the 1-lane highway. That's race 3. And we move on to a no-bet race. Is it a $33 no-bet no-bet race? Where, of course, I have an opinion. And the favourite is the maiden Prescience, who's on a 7-day backup from Canterbury last week. He's $2.80. Next pick is hard to find. It's $9 Margarita Rush, $9.50 Crossing Guard, $9.50 another Snappy, $11 Pyramid Prince, $12 Doc Holiday, $13 Kanji, out to $15 I'm a Baker, $16 another couple. It's Prescience, and it's a big clump of them otherwise. Gee, we've got some riders in this race, Gord. Have you seen these riders? We've got A. Banks, we've got Casey Adams, we've got Melinda Kinney.
So therefore I will have to be tipping H. Bowman, of course, which makes it a lay. So
another Snappy I have leading, although Kanji will be hard on the speed. Pyramid Prince has been racing prominently of late. He's on a quickish backup. They were the main runners I had on the speed. Another Snappy was very disadvantaged by the track at Gosford, but goes to 2200, which is another matter entirely. Certainly Prescience is, it's D-Day today. It's like 3 runs back. It's had a 1900 metre run. It gets a 7-day backup. H. Bowman.
Yeah.
That's what you call the kitchen sink.
Yes.
All it's missing is a gear change.
That'd be it, but then still I can't bet because it's a distance race. I did notice one thing in the videotape of Prescience. It got very close to heels early on in the race, and then even though it doesn't have the best action in the world, its head carriage was even higher. So I was disappointed with it last start, but there might be a slight forgive as far as its run's concerned. So, yeah.
Yes, and I guess it's a slightly weaker race. I'm expecting Kanji to do his best tomorrow. It's been a while since he won, but
I just think that's a magnificent tip there. I just love somebody who tips for something 14 of 14, 10 of 12, 11 of 13, and
their stayers good.
Yes.
Their stayers good. He's fourth up. He's got gun
brilliant.
on.
It's brilliant.
And he won over 2100 here 2 preparations
and what
ago.
tip's current price now?
He's $13. Crossing Guard I want to mention because T. Clark was a brilliant ride last time. He recognised that you could only win one way, and he hugged the fence, got the run. It was just, it was the top ride, so you can't give it another inch on that performance there. That's the staying race. I think we'll leave that behind, even though it is the first leg of the quaddie. Race 5 is a mile race, and here Antonio Giuseppe is $3.40 in favourite. Imanui, lightly raced improver, is $4.60. Out to Beretta at $8. Sorry, Zakonig, back from 2 Saturday races, $6.50. Beretta $8.50. Hypernicus at $9. And we've lost already. He's officially been scratched. But nevertheless, there's still good tempo here. Trinity River was in the van throughout last time. And Zaun Konig, what did he say they call it? How did he call it? Zorn Konig.
I was practicing before we came on the show, and I still haven't got it. So.
Yeah, Zorn Konig looks to be OSL here. Beretta handy to the speed, and never back down. It's trialled since it came out of the gates at the Dipsy Doodle. It could perhaps be on pace here. Any opinion, Gord?
Interested in 2 runners, 2 and 3, Antonio Giuseppe and Zorkonig. Zorkonig's just an obvious one with me, which is a leader back in grade. Generally, I'm super positive in them, so I'm going to be interested in the $7, even though we were both quite disappointed with it last start. We expected a little bit more from its position.
Look, what you actually want here is Trinity River to hand up and him to actually control. I mean, that would be an ideal circumstance.
But my top selection is Antonio Giuseppe, lightly raced with ability, 3rd up at the 1600 metres. It was a dominant win last start. I mean, people might look in the program and see that it only beat Wings and think, well, that's rubbish form, but it was Wings on a heavy track. So you've got to say that was...
Wings is going okay, I must say.
And on a heavy track, she loves it. So, she or he?
She,
yeah. So I actually think there's more credit to that win than some people might think, so reasonably keen on Antonio Giuseppe, and we'll be having something small on Zorkonig.
Yes, look, that's fair enough. What else can I suggest? Well, nothing really, because Spiritos was put out of play by Gate 1 the other day, and is likely, well, he's likely to be put out of play by Barrier 1 again, no matter what happens. I'm Anui, Gord. Any comment there? He's 2 wins from 4 starts and just monstered them at Kembla first up.
Yeah, I was giving that Kembla race a reasonably weak Kembla race, and when I'm adding, I thought it was a reasonably weak Kembla race to the fact that it's a stable not in form, it's an automatic pen.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. What about Hypernicus? So you wouldn't consider Hypernicus.
33 starts, 3 wins, and guess what? I backed it last start. So yes, I ignored one of my pearls and came a third. So
it ran well enough, and Bishin gets on board. He looks a contender. That's all I'd say. Certainly, Antonio Giuseppe. He looked to find his race at Canterbury last time, but he's so lightly raced that you think Bowman will suit this horse tomorrow.
Yep.
In a race where he probably gets the race run to suit. Race 6 is a very interesting fillies and mares race. I'm not sure if there's any fillies here. There's certainly plenty of mares over 1,400 metres, and Nieta, the unbeaten for her new trainer, is $3.30. Out to Stiletto Vixen at $6.50. And then it's Tennessee Hussy $7, and then double figures, a heap of them. Lot 341 $12, Shupek 13, Chloe's Comet 13, Bannatyne 15, Cry for Peace 17. Chloe's Comet will be looking for the lead here. Naida can have the lead if she wants, but I'm sure that stepping up to 1,400 is perhaps not an intention from the stable. Bermuda Blue will be hard on speed. Cry for Peace not far away, and the others sort of middle pegging there. Obviously this is a delicious race because we've got the favourite going 11 to 14.
Yeah, that's the only question mark. Only interested in 2 horses, Nieta and Tennessee Hussy. Clearly I have Nieta on top. I took a very close look at its last start over 1,100 metres, seeing if I could find any signs that it wouldn't get the 1,400 metres. For me, it was strongest on the line and even past the line, which is something I think you guys have mentioned on the show. You can watch them 100 metres past, and even though the jockey's got a hold of them, if they're still travelling, it's a good sign when you're going up in distance.
I think we have to give Michael Fraser the credit for that one, because he's
been on that, I think. Yeah. So the only question is the 1,400 metres, otherwise it wins. Let's face it, it's had 4 step outs in Sydney for 2 trials and 2 races. It's won all 4 of them against them, proper horses. I think it just might be better than these, and it'll win. As far as Tennessee Hussy is concerned, it should get an automatic pen from me because it's had 28 starts and 2 wins. But I like the fact that the gun's gone on board, and it might be just, I don't know, a blowout hope. But then, always well found. Like $7 about a horse that's had 28 starts and 2 wins.
Yeah, it tends to be well ridden. It's got the right sort of racing style for these sort of
Saturday,
races. Yeah, it's a contender. Look, I didn't find it at Kembla, but Chloe's Comet looks a horse that did something the other day. I know she led all the way, but she held them at bay very easily. And those 2 trials in between running at Canterbury seem to have worked somehow. But look, I'm all over number 1. I think she's, I'm a convert. I've been very, very slow on the uptake, and obviously this was an opportunity for me to remain slow, but I've grabbed the bit. And
I think it's absolutely massive that you found it on top, because you would hate the 11 to 1,400 metres.
I know, but she's shown a turn of foot in her 2 runs back that just I keep getting held back by what happened in Brisbane. That's
I'm ignoring that. I don't care.
I know.
Like
the clever punters are going. She's had 2 starts for 2 wins. So I'll join in and mock you all tomorrow.
Just the Kembla Grange that day when you suggested Chloe's Comment, that was quite considerable leader bias.
Well, I don't think it was a leader bias. I just think that the nature of the horses on that day, particularly Gay won 3 races leading all the way, and Cummings won another one. It was sort of the nature of the horses in the van and the horses that were chasing. It looked like a leader's track, but I ended up marking it not so. That's probably all I have to say about this race, even though it's, there are a few bits and pieces there. Bowman gets on board Cry for Peace, which is mildly interesting. Blinkers go on banner time, but they're sort of pack chasers, and I'm 1 from 7. So we come to the nightcap, which is over 1,100 metres. So it's the short course race for the day, and the market sees Madame Lily from that yard, Snowdon, $4. Lion Couchant, who spread eagle to field at Gosford last time from the fast lane at $4.60. Sugar Bay Leonard is $5.50. Barradoo is $7.50. Torchbearer $11. Our Meteor $13. Young Hewitt $14. Skripchenko $13. Good speed here. In fact, lots of last start winners as well. Yep. Madame Lily is on pacer. Torchbearer little the way last time. Lion Couchant will be looking for the front. Sugar Bay Leonard is a fast horse. Elite Hong Kong is quite a fast horse. Barradoo is another dead set on pacer. It's a race where there'll be a lot of jockeying.
I think I might have found one that could actually come home decent here, but it's not my top selection. There was 3 horses I put the magnifying glass to, and that was 4, 8 and 9. So that was Sugar Bay Leonard, Young Huey and Madame Lily. I'm going to be against Madame Lily because I think it actually will be reasonably short, and it's still got question marks about whether it actually has ability or not. Now Sugar Bay Leonard, I was all over it last start at Gosford, and I was very disappointed, but I think that Warwick Farm will suit it better. I like the fact that it's back to 1,100 metres, because I thought it was still at a tight hold 1,000 metres into the 1,200 metres last start, you know what I mean? And then it sort of died on its run, maybe that last 100 metres. It's a little bit fitter now, so I'm going to be reasonably keen on that. And the fact that they've put up $6 with Huey Bowman, you know, we're getting a bit of a price at the moment. Oh, you said it's into $5.50 already, is it? But yeah, and the other one I'm sort of half interested in, particularly at the price, is Young Huey. I've backed it both at start, so obviously maybe there's a little bias or loyalty being involved there, which I try and stop myself doing, but it's long odds. It's obviously significantly up in grade, but it's the strongest part of its 1,000 metres at Goulburn was the last 50 metres. It was dynamic its last 50 metres. I know it beat Nothing, Too Quick for You, Clever Buttons, but this preparation's had 2 starts, it's won them both, so it's not done anything wrong, and it's actually back at its home track. So
for a young horse, that's significant.
So 3 starts for 2-1 wins, back at your home track for the first time, and I'm getting $18 about it. I'm going to have a little play there.
Yes, that's mildly compelling. This is quite a vexing race. Sugar Bay Leonard was in the wrong lane at Gosford last time and working as well. So that bloody, you know, all those rats of Gordon York that just came down there and just held the inside, killed his chances off. So
I love the fact that you've said that, because that makes me even more keen on Sugar Bay Leonard. So
this is a very good race for him. Lion Couchant was in the fast lane the other day, but Jesus fucking Christ, he went like a bomb. He recorded some figures and he just streaked away from them. So he's clearly hit his straps, and that's the first time he's done anything away from Hawkesbury.
And it's Ty England to Kobe Jennings, so it's got to get penned.
And the other horse I want to mention, look, I'm against Madame Lily, who was in the best ground at Canterbury and then resumed in just a race for nuffies at Wyong. So she just has to be put to the sword tomorrow. Skripchenko, who won 3 races in a row and probably should be penned forever after that. I'm into your terminology there. But she's in a race that's suitable for her. She's been in 2 very slowly run 1,100 metres of late, and this has got a bit of guts, and she is also at home, but not that it's going to make much difference for her. So that's the nightcap. I think it's quite a delicious race.
There's some good racing on tomorrow. Let's just hope that there's not too many scratchings and it goes ahead.
Yeah. So as I said at the top of the show, I promised that I'll glean the Glenster for some gold tomorrow and try and have I'll make a point of putting something up there on the site from Glenn, because he's missing his second preview show in a row, sorry, the midweek preview show in a row, and I promise you he'll be on deck on Friday morning for the Saturday show.
Beauty.